Previously top-secret cabinet documents were unsealed today, revealing what went on behind closed doors in former Prime Minister John Howard's cabinet room 20 years ago. Around 240 previously secret cabinet records from the year 2002 have been released by the National Archives of Australia. The trove of documents gives an insight into the issues that were being considered at the highest levels of government. Read more. New Year's tragedy as rodeo rider killed during Queensland show. These records tell the story of what the government was thinking about, Simon Trove, from the National Archives of Australia, said. In 2002, the nation and its decision-makers were entering a frightening new era as the world tried to come to terms with 9/11. Fears of a terror attack close to home would soon be realized. The world had been turned on its head, Howard recalled to 9 News of the turbulent time. His cabinet was facing some of its toughest decisions. Once you'd had 9/11, it was clear that what could be done in the United States could be done here, former Coalition Minister Amanda Vanstone told 9 News. National security was front of mind, with Australian troops on the ground in Afghanistan and John Howard visiting Ground Zero in New York in January. U.S. President George Bush had warned of an axis of evil and, in June, he set his sights on Iraq with the Australian Prime Minister by his side. Read more. Billionaire's fireworks party starts blaze near Queenstown in September. Howard briefed his team regarding conversations about Iraq, which was believed to be maintaining so-called weapons of mass destruction, but details are not included in the cabinet documents released. When asked if he recalled that briefing, Howard said he did. It followed a telephone call ID had from the president in which George Bush confirmed he'd seek a new resolution from the United Nations to authorize a potential attack. I knew that at some point in the not-too-distant future, we'd have to decide whether or not we'd make a contribution. 6 months later, Australia joined the invasion of Iraq in the hunt for weapons of mass destruction that were never found. I don't have any regrets about the decision we took, Howard said. In October 2002, 88 Australians died in the Bali bombings. I am sure every cabinet minister, every member of parliament, was focused on what we could do to keep Australians safe, Vanstone said of the time. Osama bin Laden released chilling audio tapes linking the attack to Australia's involvement in Afghanistan, as cabinet noted evidence the al-Qaeda leader had an interest in Australia prior to the September 11 terrorist attacks, indicating U.S. allies and Australia, in particular, have been singled out as substantial terrorist targets. Another cabinet policy in 2002 pursued the offshore processing of asylum seekers, launched after the Tampa refugee crisis the previous year. Cabinet agreed to fast-track a detention center on Christmas Island. The coalition was also trying to decide whether to sign up to the Kyoto Protocol, an international agreement to reduce emissions. Back then, in 2002, the environment was a second-order issue politically, University of NSW Associate Professor David Lee said. Now it's front of mind with floods, bushfires, and other climate events around the world. Despite warnings from its own scientists that global warming was getting worse, Cabinet decided against ratifying the agreement after the U.S. refused to. Howard said he had no regrets about the actions his cabinet took in this regard. Still, in my opinion, it remains the right decision, Howard said.